The United Auto Workers strike is on its 7th day, and our local UAW Chapter 862 plans to rally in support of those already on the picket line. Union president said more members will walk out tomorrow at noon if a deal cannot be reached between the union and automakers. Workers are demanding better pay and benefits. Ford, General Motors, and Stellantis all say that they are negotiating in good faith, but progress in making a deal has been slow. Today's rally is set for 6 o'clock at the Union Hall on Fern Valley Road. And for all updates on the UAW strike, make sure you download the free WHAS11 app. It's been 2 weeks since an LMPD officer was shot while conducting a traffic stop. Now key details from that night are public thanks to release of body camera video. So now one of those is how Officer Brandon Haley was helped by a fellow officer moments after he was hit. Our Taylor Woods and photojournalist Alyssa Newton breaking down the video for us, and we do want to warn you, the video is graphic.
Body camera footage shows Officer Haley arriving to 38th in Kentucky. As he gets out of his car to investigate a white car, people run out of the vehicle. You can see he is targeted with several gunshots. Police say it came from a nearby home. Moments later, Officer Haley radios that he's been shot. Officer Colin Bellato arrives immediately and drags Officer Haley away in the grass on his knees while still ducking for cover. Once they're safe behind a bush, Bellato applies 2 chest seals to Officer Haley and calls for more backup. Haley then gets loaded into the back of an LMPD car and is rushed to the hospital. LMPD Deputy Chief Paul Humphrey says the department is proud of the officers for their bravery and strength despite the danger surrounding them and their colleagues.
For Officer Bellato to do what he did going into gunfire after an officer's already been shot, the strength to drag an officer, 200-pound man with gear on, for half a block on his knees while being shot at, to be able to have the poise to communicate and explain to officers what they were responding to. You can see the chaos at that scene and how proud we are of their actions that night.
Officer Colin Bellato remains on administrative leave as they continue investigating. Officer Haley is still at U of L Hospital recovering, but LMPD's chief says he's no longer in critical condition, and Metro Police tell us his health is improving every day. Taylor Woods, WHAS 11 on your side.
No one has been arrested for the shooting itself, but LMPD did arrest 5 people in connection to the shooting. DeMarco Coney Jr., Dominique Thompson, Quantez Porter, Jaquan Ransom, and Jamon Groves all facing gun, drug, and theft charges. LMPD said it will provide another update on this case in the next 30 days per the department's new policy. We are posting these details as we get them on WHAS11.com as well as on that news app. A case dismissed for a man charged with arson after his girlfriend was found dead in Jefferson Memorial Forest in July. Timothy Winterhalter's case was dismissed after a grand jury declined to indict him. His girlfriend, Lyndon Bray, was reported missing after she went hiking with her dogs months ago. Police found her body the next morning. The coroner's office said she died due to hanging. Now, Winterhaller is the one who reported her missing, but also admitted to setting her car on fire, which was found near her body. He was never charged in her death. A devastating house fire in Madison, Indiana Wednesday. A 14-year-old girl could not escape the flames. The Jefferson County, Indiana Sheriff's Office says the fire started just before 7:30 a.m. Ariana Ortiz Roblero escaped with 2 of her children but could not get to her teenage daughter, Dulce. Police said the mother and crews from 5 different departments tried to get to her, but she died inside that house. Ortiz Roblero and her 2 other children suffered minor injuries. Louisville Metro Police have made an arrest in a deadly shooting at a downtown food mart in June. Court records show that back in June, 23-year-old Jaquanta Dickerson got into an argument with an employee at the Platinum Food Mart on Broadway. Officers said the argument escalated and Dickerson pulled out a gun, shooting the employee. They were pronounced dead on scene and Dickerson fled in a car. He's now facing charges of murder and possession of a handgun by a convicted felon. A father is fighting to get his son back after the boy's mother was killed in Spencer County. There are a number of twists and turns to this story, but here's what we know. Police arrested Cincinnati natives Kimberly Walton and Edith Weddy with the murder of 35-year-old Christiana Walker. State troopers found her body in a home on Chapman Road back in May after a house fire. The coroner only recently determined her death a homicide. When it wasn't clear who was involved at first, her 8-year-old son was not handed over to his biological father, Ryan Cox, instead placed into the care of Walker's husband, one of the 2 people now charged in her murder. The boy is in Ohio state custody at this time. His dad says he just wants him back.
I want to see my son. I ain't seen him in a long time, so.
We just want him back. We miss Christian, and he has a big family, and we love him, and we just want him back home.
Police are still working to determine the manner of Walker's death and how that fire started. A JCPS student was sent to the hospital after a fight on a school bus headed to Highland Middle Wednesday. In a letter sent home to parents, Principal Vanessa Green said multiple students began fighting on that bus, forcing the driver to pull over. And while stopped, adults in the area tried to open the back door of that bus. LMPD, JCPS police, and school personnel all responded. Those involved were cited by police and will also be disciplined according to the student handbook. Well, a short time after this, a fight at Butler High School injured several people. It happened during first lunch period, and we're told one student sprayed pepper spray into the crowd. EMS treated several students and 2 staff members for irritation to their eyes and throats. Students involved in that fight were disciplined. More on this story coming up later in the 4 and 5 o'clock hours. Kentucky State University has been underfunded by more than $172 million over the last 30 years. The U.S. Departments of Education and Agricultural Secretaries calling it a long-standing underinvestment and looking to right a wrong. The state received a letter by the U.S. Education Secretary urging it to increase funding for the university. The letter states a lack of funding has contributed to financial problems nationwide for HBCUs, including KSU. Kentucky is one of 16 states that received such letters by the Department of Education, and according to that letter, the secretary wants to work with the state budget office in an attempt to fix the disparities. The Kentucky Transportation Cabinet's receiving input on safety concerns from people living around Taylor Boulevard and New Cut Road. The agency hosted an open house last night to get feedback on what improvements could be made in this area. The concerns come after several years of injuries and deaths to pedestrians off of New Cut near Iroquois Park. Organizers said that they are working to prevent future tragedies.
The Transportation Cabinet is a big believer that the more perspectives we can get around a potential project, the better our solutions are going to be tailored to that community. We use a lot of data to help us understand our safety challenges and our safety opportunities. But at the end of the day, safety is about people, not numbers.
Some of the main concerns included speed and lack of lighting. There's no word on an official timeline for any type of changes.